Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today, our question comes to us from John Lang. He is going to do two things. He uses not only ham radio, but something called GMRS, which is the General Mobile Radio Service. It's a Part 90 kind of thing. And it's very useful for people who want to operate. The license can be obtained simply by paying the fee. Plus, a license is good for a whole family or something like that. A lot of hunters use these things. Now, one of the cool things about GMRS that's different from the family radio service or the multiple use radio service, MERS, is that you can put up repeaters. Okay, so this guy wants to put into his truck, I think it is, one GMRS mobile unit and one ham radio mobile unit. Now that's fine. That's fine. You want to keep the antennas a little bit apart so you're not blasting one into the other. But there is a problem he has that I think a lot of people have. In that when you run the leads directly to the battery like you're supposed to, and you turn off the ignition, it does not turn off the radios, and the radios can run the battery down. So he wants to put a relay in there somewhere connected to the ignition circuit so that when he turns the car on, it'll close the radios, close the relay, power the radios. Let's see how that's done. Here we're going to look down at the vehicle. This is the front. There's the front tire. Okay. And we've got the dash here, and the radios go at the dash. Now I'm going to use different colors for the different radios. Here is the GMRS. And over here, let's get a different color here. This orange. This is the ham radio. The wires are long on both of these radios, quite long. And the wires are designed to go all the way to the battery. Okay? All the way to the battery and be connected directly to the battery. Now, there is in each of these a fuse. Both leads are fused. So you've got a little box here with a cap and a little thing that hides an automotive fuse, and it's in both leads. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is if the regular battery to chassis comes loose, then everything in the car is want to ground itself from the radio to the battery, and this will cause that fuse to blow so you don't have too much current on that wire. So you never defeat these fuses. The fuses are down at this end for a reason, okay? Because you want them to blow here rather than here, because otherwise you've got long leads to the battery that can cause a problem. Okay, so both of these, we go to here. Now the question is, he wants to put a relay in here that when he turns on, here's the steering wheel, when he turns on his ignition, the relay will allow power to go to these batteries. You do not want to put the relay here. You want to put the relay here. Okay, so let me do this in blue. See here. Okay, so let me just show you the wiring for this. There's two ways you can do this. You've got the battery, okay, and as cars get more modern, these batteries get more complicated, okay. So you've got this with the fuse, this with the fuse for the GMRS radio, this with the fuse, this with the fuse for the ham radio. Let's call this plus and minus. Okay? Now, what you want to do is put the relay somewhere down in here. What you can do if you want, for example, is put the relay right here. Okay, so you need a relay. A relay is a solenoidal coil, and it's got contact here and contact here, and it's got this here. So if the thing is magnetized, it will pull this down. If it's not magnetized, the spring pulls it back up. Okay, so when there is ignition here, you want to put the ignition here. Okay, and in this position you want off. When that's off, this position right here can go directly to 12 volts. Okay, and you put that in the positive lead, and you can switch both radios if you want. Now, you need one of these that will have like 30 amp contacts. You can get these down at auto parts stores, okay? 30 amp contacts, then you can switch both of them with one relay. Or, if you want, and you've just got one at a time, you can do two 15 amp contacts and do one for each of these. Okay? Now, you want to leave the fuses in place so that if there's a problem, like over here, you'll be okay. But what this will do, this runs to your ignition circuit. For example, a lot of vehicles, the 12 volt power takeoff PTO, which used to be called a cigarette lighter, but not that many people smoke anymore. And they don't put cigarette lighters in these anymore. A cigarette lighter is something you push in, the 12 volts makes it hot, you light your cigarette with it. Those are bygone days. But the socket is still there. Okay, sometimes these are switched with the ignition. So you can take off the back of this your power that will go to the relay. Now, if that happens, the power takeoff happens to be on all the time, you have to find a different point, and you may need to crawl under the dash or look at the fuse block to see which ones are switched by the ignition. The relays do not take much current in the down position, okay? But you do want an automotive relay, which is actually 12 volts to about 14 volts for the coil, okay? And then if you've got 30 amp contacts, you can bring both radios through that, or if it's 15 amp or just 20 amp, you have to have one for each radio, okay? So I think that'll do it for that one. It shows you how to do that. Let me make sure I answered all your questions. Okay. Yeah, we do. So there you have it. If you would like, you can go to dcasler.com/support and add to the channel funds and support this channel. Or you can go to dcasler.com/giveaway and look at the giveaway for this month and see what it is. And it's got all the information there about how to enter. You send me a snail mail entry. It's absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the postage to get it to me. I will pay the shipping to the winner. And I'm taking something every month from my ham shack that's a really cool product in itself, but not something that I use every day. And it's helping me reduce the stacks of stuff that I've reviewed in the past and so forth. So until we next meet, 73.